Okay guys, today you are in for a treat. I'm going to be reviewing Dune, the movie, but I'm not just reviewing one, I'm reviewing all four of the movies. The one that just came out, Dune in 2021, I'm going to look at Dune that came out back in 2000 as a Sci-Fi Channel TV miniseries. I'm also going to look at Children of Dune, that was the successor to the Sci-Fi Channel's TV miniseries. And finally, I round out the list by looking at the Dune movie that came out way back in 1985. You'll get my complete review on my blog, which is on squareq.com. That's square.cue. And if you go there, you will see something like this potentially, depending on when you go there. And if you click on blog posts, you can find Dune movie review. Or you can go squareq.com/dune-movie-review. And that will get you here as well. I'll put this video here for your convenience. And let's get right into it.
Author's breakdown and comments. I will start out by saying I love Frank Herbert's Dune, so take this review with a slight grain of salt. See review chart below. That being said, I will give my opinion on what the best one is to watch. If you do not have time to watch all of them, spoiler alert, each of them is quite long in its own right. My top pick, Frank Herbert's Dune, came out in 2000 from the Sci-Fi Channel as a TV miniseries. I think it was masterfully done and there was no need to make another. After that, you must watch Children of Dune. These two films will quickly become your top Sci-Fi favorites. The remake in 2021 of Dune that made it to theaters was quite good and visually stunning. I just felt they rushed it a bit, and the scenes were not perfect or had the emotional connection that was supplied by the 2000 Sci-Fi miniseries. If you have not watched both, you will not understand what I mean and will probably think 2021 Dune is quite good. It's simply not at the level I would want, but that is not to say I won't watch the next one in the series. Simply put, it's not a movie I would watch twice, but I could watch the 2000 Sci-Fi over and over again, because I have an emotional connection with it. Now to round out this list, we better talk a bit about the 1985 Dune as well. Well, I could watch it a second time, years apart, but it's a bit corny for my tastes. For the time period they did a good job. If you are a Dune lover, then it's one more you must watch.
Now I'm going to go a little more in depth and talk about each of them. And I'm going to show you the order that I love these movies. As I said, I love Dune, the movie. I think it's phenomenal. I just love some of them a lot more than others. So here's the order I would watch them in if I were you. First, I would go with Frank Herbert's Dune, the 2000 that came out back in 2000 from the Sci-Fi Channel as a miniseries. After that, I would go with Children of Dune. After that, I would watch Dune 2021 that came out in 2021. And if you have time, then maybe go back and see the 1985 version. So that's where my list stands. And let's look at each individual one in this order and see why I say what I say.
And I love this movie beyond compare. And I must have for a sci-fi lover. And I don't care what others say, I think Alec Newman as Muad'Dib did an amazing job and he will forever be my favorite in this role. And I think William Hurt as Duke Leto Atreides was not as bad as some people thought. Wish he got into the role just a bit more, but it was not an issue for me due to the tone and dimension of this movie. There was also one scene when he was talking he seemed comatose. I blame the director's direction there. And I think Saskia Reeves, as Lady Jessica Etrides was an excellent actor choice, however they completely screwed up her character, was not true to Frank Herbert's vision in my opinion, and made the character far too weak. I felt the character should have been stronger and more in charge instead of so fearful. If the director had realized to do this character correctly, the movie would be at a whole other level, where I feel she would and should have been the prominent actor setting the tone for the entire film. They really missed out. And note, I did not find a Blu-ray version and I have the DVD version myself. Suspect they did not create a Blu-ray for North America region possibly due to copyright reasons. If you know a link to a good Blu-ray version that works in North America, let me know in the comments and I'll update it.
So as you can see, I am definitely promoting the 2000 Dune movie from the Sci-Fi channel. After that, let's talk a little bit about Children of Dune.
And a perfect follow-up to Frank Herbert's 2000 Dune. And note, this Blu-ray is supposed to work in US region as well. The one I bought was a long time ago so can't tell for sure. Test it as soon as you get it.
Now we're going to talk about the movie that just came out in movie theaters, which was 2021 Dune. I think it's just called Dune. And I have a lot to say on this.
Underdeveloped and rushed storyline. Still worth a watch while it's in theaters or once it comes out to Blu-ray. And movie is visually stunning and the character design is amazing, a perfect pairing for the big screen. And I liked everyone else's acting except for the main character Timothée Chalamet. As Paul Atreides, I think either he is not cast correctly for this role or they want to show character growth as he gets older and will become insanely better as he gains character development. This movie can easily be excellent, it's not there yet, if the vision was done correctly. There is an art to storytelling and the director here is just not getting it right. I can't even really blame the actor, because, if acted properly with the correct direction this can be amazing but it's not and the cuts they made for the movie scenes were just all wrong. You can tell they are extremely rushed and sloppy. And Rebecca Ferguson, as Lady Jessica Etrides was amazing, perfectly done. This is exactly how Lady Jessica should always be portrayed, in command and in charge. What they should do next is do a prequel with just her and kid Paul Atreides from infinity to early teenage years, where the focus is her teachings to Paul. I am telling you this would be the perfect prequel and reach out to me, if you want I'll work, as a consultant and can review scenes in making to make sure it is done perfectly. I don't care about the money, I want it to be done perfectly. And that's all I can say about Stellan Skarsgård, as Baron Vladimir Harkonnen is finally, a perfect portrayal of Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. Simply amazing, exactly what should have been done. Only one thing should have been done differently with Drive. Use that scene, but that was not the actor's fault, it was the creative direction, and they should have said I can't keep a traitor around even one of my own creation. And I think Oscar Isaac, as Duke Leto Atreides was good enough, nothing to write home about, but he had one strong scene in the way he tells Lady Jessica to protect Paul and to whom he was speaking to. This was his best scene. They botched up the scene that should have been his defining moment for Dan the Spice. Essentially Duke Leto should have been the smartest man in the room, conniving, creative, and with total ambitions to become the Emperor one day. This was not the feeling you get with his character. Instead, they worked to humanize the character and give him a warm and fuzzy I'm here to be your friend feeling. Silly mistake with this character. Hence I say this movie could have been great but wasn't. And Jason Momoa, as Duncan Idaho and Aquaman and seriously as Duncan, are you insane? Exclamation point. Garbage. Exclamation point. Biggest pandering to the audience I have ever seen. Jason did his usual typecast superhero style role and I can't fault him for that, but he is not the right person for this character, but all his scenes were over the top superhero feeling. I thought he was completely the wrong person for this role. The only advice I can give you is to stop caring about big names and care about amazing acting and who fits the role correctly. What an absolute disaster casting Jason for this role. Jason is not a bad actor, he is not suitable for this degree of drama, or would need massive amounts of direction to do this role correctly, which he clearly did not receive. At least, if you are going to use Jason then you should change his appearance completely, and you can do that, it's a sci-fi movie. All you ended up doing here is showing Aquaman in all his glory, but remember this is not an Aquaman movie, this is Dune. And I think John Chen as Drive. Wellington Yu was a fine choice as an actor but what a total waste of Drive. Yu's character, this is a classic example of no character development. There was so much missed opportunity here I cannot even begin to tell you, what a total waste. I think you guys need help in a big way to salvage the remainder of these movies and to turn ordinary into extraordinary, and you really need a creative genius to give you some pointers.
Wow, that was a mouthful. Okay, as you can tell, I have some very strong feelings on the 2021 Dune. If you want to take a few takeaways from it, the movie is visually stunning. I think maybe even the best out of all of them, although I quite loved the sci-fi adaptation of it back in 2000. And for what they could do at that time, I think they did a more than wonderful job with it, and it did not need to be remade. But, okay, visually stunning. Some of the acting was amazing, some of the acting was far less than great, some of the actor choices was idiotic. That's the simplest thing I can say. Again, I have very strong feelings on this movie and feel they could have made it so much better. Let's move on and talk about the 1985 adaptation of Dune and see what I have to say there.
And this is the 1985 version of Dune, worth the watch, after you watch the other ones just for fun. And thought it was corny and some scenes were too sadistic. And it was not a perfectly cohesive storyline in my opinion. And it was a good effort for when the movie came out. And it's not one of my favorites, but I'd watch it again years down the line.
So that's it. Take it with a grain of salt because I love the Dune movie. So you may agree with my opinions, you may not. If you found my review helpful, love for your support. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. See you in the next one.